see that.
You're not going to feel comfortable with it. It's badly, poorly written.
Oh, goodness.
Watching it. Comes back Valentine's Day, by the way.
Yeah, he is good.
2 days after Deadpool.
Yes, which I actually am excited to go see.
Yeah, I want to see it too. But I love the adverts they put out for it, though. The posters, like the Valentine's Day type poster.
I like that.
They're going to be upset people who go to that film.
The one, you see the one billboard where it's the skull, the emoji of poo, and then the L, and everybody I'm looking at, I'm just like, skull, expletive deleted L? I don't get it. And I'm just like, wait, skull, death, crap, poo, L, death, poo. I'm like, oh, that was G. I love the advertising for this. It's like you can tell that they really let the people that made it, who actually know the character, just kind of run free when it came to the advertising and just do a thing. It wasn't all sterile like how Fox usually, makes their stuff. But can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, Fox needs to rebound from that Fantastic Four debacle.
Dude, I told you about that, right? When I watched it, it fell apart. You can pinpoint the exact moment where it falls apart by the second act. It was
Deadpool was they need Deadpool to save themselves, And I kept telling people on Facebook, stop hitting Fox so bad about it, because y'all got to remember, Marvel agreed to give the movie rights to Fox. So Marvel is just as culpable. They could have
for being bankrupt, yeah.
Favor, tell them they can only do this and this with the character. That's been done before, So I blame Marvel a bit too.
I give, you know what? It's not that I don't blame Marvel. I just blame Fox a lot more, just because I saw the other two Fantastic Four movies, and those were. I'm sorry. I still, as bad as the new one, Fantastic Four movie was, they at least tried. The Tim Story directed Fantastic Four movies, absolute crap. Absolute crap. I'm sorry. I tried to give that a fair due. It's just they don't do anything in the first film. If you notice, it's just one montage after another. And then Dr. Doom comes and messes with them. Literally, that's all he does. He trolls them in the last act. They beat him, and then they put him in the frozen, metal thing. And then they give him to the top men, and they put him in a crate somewhere. And then that's the end. I'm just like that. And the second one was worse.
So what do you mean, Drew? You don't like the way they kind of set you up for a part two?
No, because no.
I mean,
I didn't.
Did it come across? Was it overly blatant?
I was not purchased on that at all. Maybe you guys love to hear them, but I just felt that it was so bad.
It's a solo. They just stuck him in carbonite.
Yeah.
They stuck him in carbonite. Yeah, they put him in carbonite, and then they put him in the Indiana Jones crate, and they put him in that special room with the top men. And I'm like...
Well, one thing I got to say that when I actually gave it a second look because of talking to Dean, and I had to say, Dean, you're right. If it was different characters that stand alone, and it wasn't the Fantastic Four, it's not as bad. I mean, it's still not that good, but it's not as bad as it is once they made it a Fantastic Four movie.
Like they had a storyline, they just attached it to a famous property to get people to come see it.
Right.
Yeah. And admittedly, I did like the conflict that was between Ben and Reed after he got turned. He blamed him for that, and I liked that he was hostile. Like that was
exactly.
I quite enjoyed the first film. I thought it was quite fun. I thought the second one was appalling. But I mean, right at the start of the second one, they had Reed Richards in a nightclub dancing, and to show off, he was extending his arm, and his shirt extended with his arm.
Yeah,
that was
shirt
ridiculous.
extends with it. It makes no sense.
I thought I'm not going to like this film.
Well, maybe he made the clothes the costume. Well,
no, I don't really buy that.
But the earlier reboot was okay, but once they started doing a part two, they just wanted to make another movie, and they didn't really know what they really wanted to do with it, and you could really see that. So that's why when they made the last reboot, they didn't, I think they tried to fix some of those issues and tried to create original relationships between the people. But then they just lost you in the story. It just didn't hold up.
I don't know. I was just thoroughly... where I got really insulted is what they did with Sue Storm. Because I find her to be probably one of, if not most interesting character out of the Fantastic
Okay.
to the Thing. Jessica Alba, oh, the whole second movie, the world is about to like go up in flames potentially, and you're concerned about your wedding. Like,
Yeah.
I just, she's literally putting her own happiness and her whole little fantasy before the fate of billions. I'm like, that's not a hero. There's nothing heroic about it.
And it doesn't stay true to the character. The character wouldn't
At
do
all.
that.
That was just bad writing in that part.
Yeah,
That was bad writing. But my problem was why'd you put Doom in it? I mean, you're gonna do Galactus and Silver Surfer.
Right.
Why putting Doom in it? You're putting all this CGI on Doom and Silver Surfer, and Galactus, probably Kirby's one of his most iconic characters. You turn him into a cloud.
He was the smoke monster from Lost.
I mean,
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Smoke monsters were in that year, man. What can I say? I don't know. Supernatural. There was Lost.
Now, Drew, one of the I mentioned earlier that 100 is coming back. It's one of those series that started out really, really well. I don't think it caught fire. A lot of people didn't even know the series was going on.
Okay.
But your earlier critique, a lot of shows pushing the relationship thing, I noticed in the last 4 episodes of that season, they
pairing up.
really went hard with the relationship. Do you
I'm not
think
surprised.
this time around, do you think they'll loosen up on that, or do you think they're going to?
I almost want to defer that to Neil because I think he's actually seen the show. But the 100, I've maybe watched an episode and a half of that.
Okay.
And I think where I had to jump ship, I think that was the one that I was talking about earlier, guys.
Okay.
I tried to watch it, and it just got so ridiculous that I couldn't. And the thing that just kind of had me just throw the remote down and just be like, I can't do this anymore, was the fact that they're in like some weird dystopian future, right? They're like, there's 100 people that are left. They go to this, I guess, like feral planet where there's like cannibals and all that stuff. And people's hairs are still hooked up, dude.
Well,
like, dudes still have, like, the girls' hair looks like on point. Like, dudes are still getting lineups. They can still apparently have access to hair product because you see dudes with the spiked up look, and I'm like, no, how did this happen?
Well, this is Earth. Well, again, there was a war and nuclear or whatever was going on. They went into space because the Earth wasn't habitable anymore. And what they were doing was that they started to slowly kill people off. Or if you did something wrong, you'd be sentenced to death, because that was an easy way to bring down the population, because they didn't have that much food. They had limited food and limited air. Okay. Right? So they sent down 100 kids basically to test if it's kind of messed up, because
that's it. So let's send the kids, not the old ones that are about to go. So alrighty.
So I mean, I like the fact it's different, but they actually go to Earth. They just go to Earth X amount of years or generations after. So, but they soon to find out that there are some people left on Earth. Some are tribal areas, and then others are in some sort of bunker. And
so Hunger Games meets After Earth, basically.
Basically.
Let's send the kids down, and then if the cannibals don't snatch their asses, then we'll know that things are okay.
Basically.
So I prefer Into the Badlands, but that's all right. So you guys let me know though if that turns out okay, and if they turn things around and they don't make it all about which pretty kids are gonna make out this week, guys. Let me know.
Well, I tell you, there were some interesting twists and turns that, as a writer as well, and a director, I like what they did with it. Because like, for instance, the people in the bunker, they couldn't go in the sunlight. Their bodies were not able to create whatever you like. Well, not necessarily melanin, because that was kind of weird. Something in the writing there didn't make sense. But I like the fact that they weren't able to breathe the air or something like that, and they started to kidnap the kids and harvest whatever they need from their body, in their bone marrow, to create some sort of serum that now these people can go back again, science-wise, I don't know how that works out too well.
A
But
lot, yeah, lots of wonky with that. And I'm no
right,
science expert, but I'm
yeah.
just like,
But I like the fact it was a little different. It was a little
okay.
different. No one's ever
It's
really did the whole let's come to Earth. They did the whole like let's go to another planet, or so to them to like rediscover Earth and never see Earth in their particular generation lifetime, I thought was interesting.
see, Battlestar Galactica did that though,
Oh, they
and that
did.
was Battlestar. The whole objective of Battlestar Galactica was that you had was it 12 or 13 colonies? Dean,
Okay.
Neil, that we went on that.
Yeah, they were looking
Yeah,
for the 13th colony. They were looking for the
they
13th
were, they were they made up the rest of yeah. All the man that was left, they were packed up on these little ships. It was just this caravan. It was just ships out in the darkness of space,
Right.
and they were searching for Earth, and they were being hunted brutally by the Cylons.
Yeah, I love that. I
One of
love
the
that.
greatest shows I've
Uh,
ever seen in my life.